Hello, arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight we're going to be talking home arcade, but I want to start this stream with the Super Bowl. I've been watching the Super Bowl all afternoon, starting this evening. We're in what looks like it may be overtime. It's tied 16-16 right now, so I won't have my eye on the game because I'm streaming with you guys. So if you guys have any news or any scores are made, definitely put it down in the chat and let us know so we can keep up with the game while we're talking home arcade. But let's say hi to everyone who's in the chat. Looks like we got a few people in here already. Calvin Wong was the first one I saw. He's got his grin face. Good to see you, Calvin Wong. Glad you've made it. Carlo, he's saying, got to give it to Glen. He goes big. Definitely does. We got some Glen GRS products, Glen's Retro Show products to talk tonight. Some big exciting news for us that own the iArcade and have the Ultimate Control Panel. We got some big news for us tonight. Papa Brad's Gaming. Hello, gamers. Good to see you, Papa Brad. Carlo's asking, how's Papa Brad's voice? I did watch their show a little bit last night, and it sounded like he's getting his voice back. And good to see Papa Brad on stream last night. Jason, Little Alien, he's saying, we'll keep you updated. 2 minutes. So we got 2 minutes left in the game. I assume it's still 16-16 right now. So a very good game right now going on. So hopefully we can keep up with that and get into some home arcade discussion tonight. But I want to start I was going to do what is called a Super Bowl reaction, because I thought maybe the Super Bowl would have already ended by the time my stream started, but I didn't calculate that right with the halftime show and everything going on right now. It's a very long game. So still going on right now. Won't have any reaction. But I do have some reaction on one of the commercials I saw because, I'm not really a big fan of Kansas City. I'm not a big fan of San Francisco. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. Been a fan of theirs since I was a child. So not really into the two teams that are playing right now. But one thing I was really looking forward to during the Super Bowl tonight was going to be the commercials. And there was one commercial in particular that I had wanted to see tonight that I was really pumped for, and that was the Deadpool trailer. Because I've always been a fan of the Marvel movies and then the Fox movies, and now they've joined. You got Disney, who's kind of been having some rough times right now. Their movies haven't been so great, but you got Fox coming in now to kind of get that hype going again and get people interested in Disney again. And it looks like it's going to work. The trailer looked amazing. And we got the name of the movie. It's called Deadpool and Wolverine. Some thought it would be Deadpool 3. Some thought Deadpool versus Wolverine. We got confirmation tonight, Deadpool and Wolverine. And you don't get to see Hugh Jackman very much in the commercial. You only get to see him for like a couple of seconds, but he's in there, and it looks like a really good movie, guys. Amazing looking movie. A lot going on. A lot of Easter eggs in there. They're bringing all the old X-Men back from all the Fox movies. So this is going to be a really big movie this summer, and something I'm going to definitely be wanting to talk about because I'm a huge fan of comic books, definitely the movies. And, I haven't talked a lot about the Marvel movies lately because they haven't been so great, especially the most recent one, Captain Marvel 2. But hopefully this will get that back going again to where people will be excited about these movies coming out and what Disney has up their sleeve next for their next movie. So I'll be talking about this stuff. Definitely wanted to talk some Super Bowl reaction. Who was going to win, who won the game, who I wanted to win the game. But it is tied 16-16 right now, so anyone could win. I did see Kelsey was very frustrated right before the half. Saw him pushing the coach, Andy Reid, a little bit and yelling in his ear, and things were getting really heated during that game. And I just can't wait to see the ending. And hopefully, if I had to pick one of the two, I'm going to go for the Chiefs. And I think I'd said this on a stream or two ago. The reason I'm kind of pulling for the Chiefs is they used to be called the Dallas Texans. In fact, they were a Dallas football team before they ever went to Kansas City. And so I still have that attachment to them, I guess, that they were a Texas team. Jason just updated us. 1916 Niners. Dang it. So there's only probably, like a minute left? I'm going to pull it up here on my screen just to see. But hopefully the Chiefs can pull this out. Let's see. So 1916, we got a minute 53 left. I'm assuming that Kansas City's going to get the ball now, and they're going to have their opportunity to score. And if they get a touchdown, it's game. They win. Or they could tie it with the field goal. So we'll keep monitoring this and see what happens. Carlos says that's the reason to root against them, Biggie D. And Thumper Squid says Chiefs. He's going for the Chiefs. 137 left. All right. Well, you guys keep me updated as I get into some home arcade talk. All right. So I want to start, guys, with some AtGames 4K. Carlos saying he's calling out Brady Hex right now. But yeah, let's talk some 4K pinball because we got some major updates today or over the weekend that I wanted to cover with you guys today. And these are slides that were sent out by AtGames. And something I like about AtGames is that they are communicating very well with us right now. Their line of communication with the customer base, the fans of these products, potential buyers is very good right now. I thought with Arcade 1UP, slowing down and potentially going out of business, or, kind of one of my thoughts just real quick on Arcade 1UP is that I don't think Arcade 1UP is in risk of going out of business because they still make quite a bit of money. But what I think is going to happen, and this is just my guess, my speculation on this, I think what is going to end up happening is Arcade 1UP is going to officially phase out the arcade line of products, and they're going to focus solely on their Infinity Game Board and Infinity Game Table, and they're going to rename the company. Now, when that's going to happen, or if that's going to happen, we'll have to see. That's my thought. That's what I'm seeing from my observations. So I don't predict Arcade 1UP's going to be around much longer. From what I'm seeing. So with these shows and moving forward with this channel, we're probably going to talk very little about Arcade 1UP. And if we do talk about them, it's really going to be more so to compare them to these other companies that are really doing some things in the home arcade space. So we got some really good communication going already from AtGames, this year, early in 2024, which is great because people are spending a lot of money. They're releasing new products we've never seen before. And these, are ones we've never had. We've never had 4K pinball before. So there's going to be a lot of issues. There's going to be a lot of questions. There's all kinds of things going on behind the scenes that AtGames is dealing with. And one of the best ways that they can get that to work in their benefit is to communicate very well with the customer. And that's what I'm seeing already. So let's go through some of these slides, some of this information that they have provided us. And normally a lot of this stuff would go to like content creators or influencers. But what I like about AtGames is you don't necessarily have to be in their influencer program. You can just be a fan or a potential customer like myself and get this information just like anyone else can. So I had gotten these slides off of Facebook. It was listed on the Facebook page. So let's go ahead and run through some of these and just see what they're trying to communicate to us, customers or potential customers. We got Goofy Foot here. Chewing Fingernail said, must be getting nail biter getting very close. The Death Star has flipper lag. So yeah, that is one major complaint I'm hearing, Thumper, is the flipper lag. I mean, it is across the board, every customer has complained about this. There is no doubt about it that there is a problem with this flipper and the lag and the response time, and something that they're 100% going to have to address. But outside of that, there's not too many other complaints I'm hearing. There's a couple others I'll mention. One is the plunger has a little bit of difficulty. When you pull on it, it's just not keeping up with your pulling of the plunger. It's not synced right. So that's something that they can probably fix with the firmware update as well. And then we have the light up topper, right? The light up topper was kind of a throw-in that they had given us here at the very end, right before the release. Wasn't anything that was in the initial pre-orders. So it wasn't anything we were expecting that we were going to get a light up topper. When we heard we were, that was really good news. But one common complaint with this light up topper is there's little like screw looking type points in each corner of this topper. So when the light is on, you could see it behind the picture. So that's kind of throwing some people off, and just visually people don't seem to like that, and some people are turning the topper off. So hopefully, the topper can be fixed on future ones. We'll see if that's something that they can improve visually. And then that's cosmetic. And then on the actual game itself, on the programming of the game and optimization of that, hopefully they can fix the flipper lag and the plunger issues. So 16 seconds left, very close on this game, just to mention that. Goofy Foot is number 1 on Black Hole. My score not found. So Black Hole, you guys must have a tournament going on right now for that one as well. That must be one of your AtGames HD table tournaments you have going on, or maybe those are the leaderboards you're referring to, Thumper. You have to let us know. But that's cool to see. Goofy Foot is number 1 on the leaderboards, or potentially number 1 in your tournament. So let's look at these slides here. It says, together we serve the community. Thank you to everyone for your support in AtGames' new 4KP pinball launch. It's been 1 week and we've successfully shipped thousands of units across the country. We've refined our pre-order emails to ensure that we reach your inboxes. Our customer response times have been between 5 and 8 hours with a 95% case completion rate. It's been fantastic to see all the excitement surrounding the unboxing and happy faces playing virtual pinball. So this was one of the major concerns I had, because I'm a potential buyer, right? I'm one of those people that I guess I can't afford a 1500 pinball, but it's going to put me in some debt. I'm going to have to go extend my credit or put this on a credit card in order to get this. So, I'm a potential buyer, but it's also going to put me in a little bit of debt, and I'll have to pay that debt off. So I'm going to make a wise decision. I'm not going to just jump in to this product immediately. I want to see some things from AtGames. I want to see them prove some things to me first. And what I'm seeing in these slides absolutely are addressing my personal concerns as a consumer, things that I was worried about before I went and spent $1,500. And one of the things I was most concerned about was if I have any issues with my pinball, if it arrives damaged or it's not working or it needs a replacement part, is AtGames going to respond to my ticket? Are they going to quickly get back to me? Are they going to fix the issue? Or are they going to make me pay more money? All these things come into my head. Well, hearing that they're having this really successful customer service experience early on, 5 to 8 hour response time is incredible. 95% completion rate already is incredible. That's really good news to see. I work in a field where I have to have good customer service skills. So these are things that stick out to me. Thumper Squid saying leaderboards. So we got Goofy number 1 on the leaderboards for Black Hole. Carlo saying Goofy has the touch on the micro. And Goofy saying, what? I am? Question mark. Here we go. Carlo saying 1919 overtime coming. So game is not over, guys. We could still see, I want to say Cleveland. We could see Kansas City pull this out. Scaredy Cat saying, I sold off half of my 1-ups so I can order one of these when different skins come out and these bugs are squashed. So Scaredy Cat, I'm seeing a lot of this. A lot of people selling their arcade 1-ups. I'm actively on Facebook Marketplace right now looking for a Legends HD pinball, because even if I buy this 4K pinball, I'm going to want the HD pinball also if I can find like an incredible deal on a used one. I'm looking to try to find a used one for about $250. And a lot of the people I see online, they're selling them for $600, $450, and I'll send them my, offer of $250, and they'll laugh, or they'll block me, or they'll say, no way, and I'm just going to continue doing that until I get one. But the reason I brought this up is while I'm on Facebook Marketplace and I'm shopping for my AtGames HD pinball, I'm seeing a ton of one-ups for sale now. I mean, more than I've ever seen before. I'm seeing some people that are clearing out their entire arcades. I saw an ad today where the guy has listed every single arcade that he owns. They're all arcade one-ups, and he's selling them across the board for $250 a piece. And he's like, make me an offer. And those just don't interest me. Like right now, my interest level in arcade one-up is very low. And that's because I just don't want a bunch of arcades sitting in my house that have no updates, that have no online, that have no customer service, all that. I don't want that in my home. So I'm seeing a lot, like what Scaredy Cat said, selling off their one-ups. I'm very close to selling off. I don't have a ton of them. I've only got 5 or 6 of them, but I'm close to selling some of mine, thinking, what room can I make for my new AtGames 4KP pinball? Thumper Squid saying AtGames needs to give ALP HD some love. Release something for us HD owners. I would like to see that. I don't want to see them forget about this HD pinball and just forget about it and quit supporting it. I want them to continue to send out games, send out updates to those customers so they don't feel left behind. And then eventually over years, phase that product line out, but don't instantly do it just because you have this new product out. Carl Lowe saying that's too low. I would sell you mine for $400 with the control panel. So I'm seeing a lot of that, Carl Lowe. I'm seeing a lot of people that have the control panel, but also people that are willing to throw in their tables too. They're like, you can just have the tables that are on mine, basically handing you their account. And so there is some value in that. If you can get the control panel, you can get some pinball games with it, then, it'd be worth spending a little bit more. But I'm just looking for like that deal that's one that's going to sell within minutes. The guy that's just trying to get rid of it, and he'll just take whatever he can get. That's the deal I'm looking for right now. Jason saying, agreed at Thumper Squid. Natural History 2 and 3 and Rare are coming. I think after it's done, though. Scaredy Cat says he has 20 cabs. That's dumb. I play my ALU a lot. I'm keeping the ones with different controls, keeping the one-ups. So he likes the ones that are offering different style controls, like a Fast and the Furious or a shooting game like Time Crisis possibly. Those are offering different style controls. Those may be more valuable to keep long-term than just the joystick button control games, because we're going to be able to get and play those games through other companies in the future. So for me, like I said, I'm not going to be buying any more arcade one-up. I'm going to be only looking forward to AtGames. That's going to be like my primary focus for home arcade moving forward. That's not just my channel either. That's me personally in my own life. Like I play my AtGames Legends Ultimate probably 90% of the time. The other 10% of the time I'm playing my iArcade. Very rarely have I jumped on these arcade one-ups recently in the last few months. All right, guys, so let's get into these next few slides here. So it says, new dedicated 4K community launch. We launched a new dedicated Legends 4K community with over 1,000 members already and quickly growing. So this is kind of like another Facebook page to kind of supplement Glen's page. Glen has his own Facebook group, which I follow. This would be kind of like a smaller other group you could join. They're trying to promote this because they want to control everything. They want to control all the information. They want to control the comments, all that kind of stuff. So that's why they're pushing this. I will tell you guys, go to Glen's group, his AtGames group. It's bigger. There's more going on in that one. You're going to get all the same information in it that you would in this one. That's just my advice to you. It also will not be filtered. You're going to get real opinions, where when you have like the company running the Facebook group, and we saw this with Arcade One Up, they tried to silence people, right? If they're talking negative or they have something that they want to get off their chest, they'll just, delete that comment or hide it. And I'm not saying that AtGames is going to do that with this group. I'm just saying that there's potential for that. And that's why I like Glen's AtGames group. If you guys want the link to that, maybe one of the moderators can that's a part of that Facebook group can throw the link in there for you guys if you haven't joined already. Thumper Squid says, I got the GRS 4 8-way gate switcher for my ALU. So much better now. Yeah, absolutely. These controls are fantastic. If you can upgrade them to GRS, highly recommend them. All right, so logistics. Now, this slide really stood out to me because it shows that there's no more delays. Everything now has arrived for the most part for Adam's family, and they're just going out normally like any other product would. They have plenty of stock now, and they can ship to you. So, like, for instance, on the 12/12 to 1/28, payment links were sent on 1/19. The pre-order date was 12/12 through 1/28, but these are on target to be shipped out on time. So everything's now going in on time. So I like to see that. And then, like, for people that ordered just like 30 days ago, they're going to be getting their Adam's Family 4KP pinball tomorrow. It's saying tomorrow they're going to receive theirs. So if you would have ordered yours on 1/1, after 1/1, so last month, you will be getting yours tomorrow. So that's incredible. They're really speeding up their times now for shipments. And I like to see this kind of stuff. These are the kinds of things that I wanted to see from AtGames. And I'm really glad to see that they're putting this information out there. It gives me a lot more confidence in what they're doing and a lot more confidence for me to spend the money. Legends 4K customer support. So like I'd mentioned, I was worried about customer support. Whenever you're getting something shipped to your home and it's not like a brick and mortar retailer where you can just go and return it easily, that's one of my biggest things I look for is going to be the support. Am I going to be able to get a hold of this company, and are they going to be able to resolve or fix these issues for me? And are they going to be able to do it in a quick and timely manner? And they've proven that with these slides, saying the average response time look like 128 to 22. That's gone up a little bit. That's probably because they're seeing an increase in the orders. Resolution, 95%. So that's really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing there. Now they're saying successes, team collaboration, rapid exchange facilitation, changing narrative of conversations after delivery and positive reception, turnkey processing of orders using newly improved logistics process for rapid order delivery, yielding reduced wait time, meeting expected deadlines, and early fulfillment of goal for Wave 2 TAF and Wave 1 SSF pre-order pre-install customers. New packaging with substantial improvement successful. So looking good there. Pain points. So I like this. Okay, so they're showing their successes, right? They're giving us what they're doing well, but they're not hiding what they're not doing well, right? They're actually giving us what's called their pain points, which is things that they haven't been successful with so far that they are working towards, improving. That's going to be your shipping damages and your pre-order emails hitting the inboxes. So I've seen this. A lot of people sharing their, shipments. The box is all beat up. Some of the parts are damaged. I've been seeing this. And they're letting you know that they're aware of that problem and that they're going to address it. Pre-order emails. Some people, I guess this whole process isn't as streamlined as they thought. Sending these emails out after someone is pre-ordered to ask them for more money. Maybe these emails aren't getting to everyone. Maybe they're going to their spam box. Who knows? But they've got some issues there, it seems like. Brooklyn Menace is here. Good to see you, Brooklyn Menace. He's got his emojis there. Always good to see Brooklyn in the chat. Thumper Squid saying, I'm hoping to get a Dinosaur Dynasty 4K cheap, maybe at Sam's or Costco in a year or so. So I was hopeful of that as well, Thumper. But like this week especially has really kind of changed my tune on that. You know, I'm watching Papa Brad. I'm watching T. McCloskey, Arcade Talk and Star Wars reviews. And I'm seeing how much fun they're having with these products. And I'm seeing also their audience is very engaged in these products. And it's feeding my FOMO to make me want to go out and get one of these. So I'm like inching closer, I feel like each day, to just going out and spending. And it's very hard for me to spend $1,500. I almost feel like I want to reach out to AtGames and be like, hey, I have a channel. Can you guys give me a little bit of a break? I should have ordered this thing 3 months ago when I was at Cleveland, but I didn't. Can you guys give me that Cleveland price or something? I doubt they would ever do that, but that's, you know, something I feel like I need to at least try before I go spend the full $1,500. Or my other option is to wait for another release. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Creature of the Black Lagoon. Are any of these going to come? You know, if they are, maybe I should wait for one of those, because I can get one of those at $12.99 maybe during the pre-order for the first week. But then also I would have to wait then, because those are going to be 3 months probably out. You know, I probably won't get it till, you know, close to the end of the year. So that's what's also directing me or sending me more towards that Adams family, is the fact that I can get it sooner. And I want it now. You know, I'm like one of those people that I hate the wait. And I don't like to pre-order, because then I have to wait and think about it. Right now, I can just jump right in, spend the $1,500, and they're going to ship me an Adams family immediately. So it's looking closer and more likely that I'm going to end up having to do that, just because I want something to play. I'm sitting around my apartment, and I'm like, okay, I can play some light gun games. I definitely don't want to play my Attack from Mars pinball from Arcade 1-Up. But I just want something different. I want something new in my arcade. And this is the only thing that's really great, that's amazing, that's new right now. So another thing to think about too, guys, is we are spending $1,500, right? But think about Arcade 1-Up. We would spend $300-$400 on one, and then we'd turn around and go buy another one for $300 or $400, and then we do it again. Well, when you add up 3 of these, you've got the price of one Adams Family 4K pinball. So just these 3 arcades right here, if I just not bought these 3, I would have one of these. So with the new releases from Arcade 1-Up non-existent, we're not spending our money there. So we should have the additional money to spend here. As long as we're making the same income, right? Jason Little Alien saying, LOL, success at changing narrative after delivery. Yeah, by censoring the audience. They're only acknowledging the mistakes because the voices are too loud and too varied outside their control. So Jason's got another take on that, you know, that they're controlling the narrative on this. It's not a good thing that they're showing their failures. It's that they have to, because we've pointed it out and we've forced them into doing that. Papa Brad's Gaming says, thanks for watching. Thumper Squid says, the FOMO LOL. Carl O saying, just wait till they work out the bugs, Biggie D. Get the bit LCD on deal and used ALP and reskin. Thumper Squid says, I'm happy with the HD and play it all the time, so waiting isn't that bad. And then we've got Papa Brad's Gaming with a $2 super chat. He's saying, Biggie D is legit. Sell those one-ups, arcade one-ups. Purge time to get rid of them. $2. I really appreciate that. Sending that over, Papa Brad's Gaming, to help support the channel. Let's run a super chat video. Thanks again, Papa Brad. I really appreciate that. I also got some more of those videos, and just realized that I did not upload them again. I'm using OBS, but I've got them ready to go. So for our next one, we'll be ready. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Let me get back. Doing too many screens at once right now. All right. Get back on track here. All right. Appreciate the $2 though. Oh, and Jason just sent 5 memberships out. Gifted 5 memberships. That's huge, Jason. Thank you. And it looks like Thor KC got one. Science Spirits, Kelvar's FPV Adventures, Kurt Mason, and the Real Schmidt. So that's awesome. Very cool. Alien versus Predator. All right, so our next agenda. So this is kind of giving us a timeline of what we can expect here. So February 8th, which was last Friday, and I've got that slide already ready to go, announcing the Day 25 release notes. February 20th, firmware Day 25 update. So let's go through that. What are we going to get on February the 20th? So here's logistics. So this is great, because we're going to get to see all the different tables, and we're going to get to see dates on these to kind of give us an idea of should we wait and, should we pre-order Snoopy and wait on one of those, or should I just go all in and get Addams Family right now? So it's saying, let's say if I pre-ordered Snoopy, actually it doesn't show if I pre-ordered today. This is interesting. It says 1212 to 128. Pricing varies. I guess that's because of how their pricing structure was at that time. But after 1124, that's where we're at. It's $14.99, and it's going to arrive on 4/19/24. So April 19th. That's 60 days away. So if I ordered Snoopy, I'm assuming that I would have it in about 60 days. It's not too bad. The yellow's just a little too much for me, though. I do like the yellow. Yellow's one of my favorite colors. I just don't like that bright of a color in my home. Because I want these things to kind of fit in with my furniture and the rest of my home. So the yellow just kind of, it's a little too much for me. Jason saying 22-19 Niners. So I'm assuming the game is still going on. Okay, it was 19-19 with 8 minutes left. It's now 22-19, guys. 49ers are winning, and there's probably a little less than 8 minutes left. Papa Brad's Gaming says the $11.99.99 deals were the way to go. I hope they drop a surprise at Nod. Yeah, so we've got Nod still, so there's still surprises that could happen. Not everything is going to be set in stone. They're going to definitely, hopefully, be running sales on some of this stuff. So here is our Star Trek. So after 1/1, $1,500. This one's 5/6. So it's about 2 weeks after Snoopy. You don't have to wait much longer. So between these two, I'm just doing some shopping with you guys right now because I'm actually shopping one of these for myself. I would be more inclined to go with the Star Trek because that's the one I want. And that one I would only have to wait 2 more weeks for. So it's not too bad. 5/6. About 80 days from now. This is interesting. So Attack from Mars, 1/1, $14.99 will arrive 5/8. So it's only 2 days later than Star Trek. So Star Trek and Attack from Mars should be on the same boat, is what it's looking like to me. And those shipments should be arriving either right around the same time or at the same time. Now, between these two, between the Star Trek and the Attack from Mars, I'm more interested in the Star Trek. I already own the Attack from Mars pinball from Arcade 1UP, and I love the artwork on it. But my plan is to probably keep my Arcade 1UP Attack from Mars just because I got a really good deal on it, and it does look good in the game room. And I actually use it to like put stuff on right now. It's kind of like a little table for me. So I'm going to keep that. And I wouldn't obviously want 2 Attack from Mars. So Star Trek. So really I'm down to 2 choices. I can either get the Addams Family for $1,500 and have it very soon, like this month, or I could wait, pre-order the Star Trek and just wait 60 days and get the artwork that I want. Very tough decision. Very tough decision. Can you wait? Is the 60 days too much for me? We'll have to see. Science Spirit saying, cry, Taylor, cry. Toxin's in the chat. He's saying the topper is the best, though. Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. Topper for Attack from Mars. It's got the best cut. You guys can see it in here, how like the UFO is kind of sticking out on that one. It's definitely the best looking topper for sure. And Star Trek's is probably one of the most basic toppers of all of them. So that's a good point. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I think I like Arcade 1-Up. If you wait for the deals, will eventually happen. He does like Attack from Mars, and he will hold out for the Creature before he gets a second one, I assume. Carlo really likes the Snoopy. Jason says, I'll be waiting for the Attack from Mars if I didn't have the ALP themed the same. Oh, see, he's got his ALP themed Attack from Mars. So, Toxin saying, Carlo, I just thought of Rush Hour 2. I like Snoopy. Great movie. Jason saying, so it'll be a total surprise at whatever one I end up with. That's kind of where it is. I'm kind of, it was for me, but I'm starting to limit and kind of eliminate these other ones, right? I've eliminated Snoopy. I've eliminated the Dinosaur Dynasty, obviously. Attack from Mars now. So I'm now down to 2. If I want it quick and I want it, you know, for content and all that, I should go Addams Family. If I can be a little bit patient, it'll pay off because I'll get the Star Trek. I'll get the artwork I've wanted. I'll get the sci-fi theme. I'll get more tables right out of the box. And some would argue better tables. So right now I'm leaning a little bit Star Trek. We'll see. I still got a couple of things I got to do, though, before I pull the trigger on the 1,500. I got to contact AtGames, see if I have any options as a content creator. You know, I don't think I will, but I at least got to try. And then also I want to see, I kind of want to wait and see, are they going to have any new releases? But it's not looking like we're going to get any new tables anytime soon. That's my gut feeling right now. But that could change. And like, wouldn't it be bad? Like, wouldn't it be like worst case scenario if I pre-order Star Trek and then the next week they announce Star Wars and it's $12.99 and I just spent $1,500 on Star Trek? Like, it would just, oh man, it would be such a bad feeling. And it's not very easy to just swap. Like for me to go back and to AtGames and say, oh, I want to get Star Wars now. It's not going to be super easy for them to swap mine to Star Wars. They're going to have to refund me. I'm going to have to go pre-order again. And that's if they refund me my pre-order. So it's a tough buying process right now because you've got all these variables. Papa Brad's Gaming says, get the Star Trek. The Addams Family will always be available. That's a very good point. Star Trek is a collector's edition, so supposedly they're only going to make 5,000 of them. And Carlos saying, good call, Toxin. So that's it on that slide, guys. But I've got one more here I wanted to share with you. This is the one that was released on the 8th, which was Friday. And this is talking about their firmware update. So there is a firmware update coming to address and fix, I guess, some issues, improve some things. Number one, the user will initiate the day 25 update on February 20th or after once the Legends 4KP machine is connected to the internet. Shows you how to apply this update. For those machines received after the 20th of February, when the machine is connected to the internet, the machine will begin the update automatically to replace the factory one. So you won't have a choice. 2, it says included in this update is going to be a Legends 4K pinball pack code redemption functionality is now restored. So for all those people that pre-ordered these Zachariah, Taito, Dr. Seuss, Zen tables, they're going to actually be able to start playing them. So believe it or not, guys, anyone that's owned Addams Family for the last week or two has not been able to play even the Zachariah, the Taito, the Dr. Seuss tables that they paid for. Those were not even available, but they will be starting February 20th. So that's good. And then the second part of this is saying the micro stutter issue that occurred in several built-in Magic Pixel tables is fixed, and the APX game packs are also updated. So we haven't been, unless that was a problem with the HD, we haven't been experiencing that. That's something they're telling us was a problem before it got to us, unless this was going on the HD tables. Number 3 says known issues being worked on right now as of February 8th. This is kind of a bummer, and this was something I noticed a lot of people really, I guess, being verbal about this, expressing themselves, being a little critical of AtGames, not including a flipper lag improvement in this update. So they're saying as of February 8th, the improvements for the Addams Family flipper lag are still in progress. So I'm assuming that this is on Zen to fix the flipper lag, and they're kind of on Zen's timetable. So they're not giving us a window or an expected time that this will be ready, because it's probably not them that's fixing this. It's probably Zen, and Zen probably hasn't given them that information, so they don't have anything to tell us. So I believe 100%, no doubt about it, this is going to get addressed with the flipper lag. It will get fixed. It's just going to take some time, it looks like. And if we know Zen, they're not quick with these updates. I know with the the Attack from Mars arcade one-up that I have, it had a lot of major issues. And it took them probably, I can't give you an exact amount of time, but I believe it was several months before they had the update for the Attack from Mars to make those games playable. Basically, every table on the Attack from Mars was almost unplayable out of the box. And it took Zen several months to address that, to get that update out for the arcade one-up. So we'll see if that is a trend and that continues with AtGames, or will AtGames make that easier for them to send updates, and they're just coming out quicker, and we're seeing things addressed more quickly. We'll have to wait and see on that. But that does concern me a little bit that the flipper lag still hasn't been addressed, and they're still working on it. Papa Reds Gaming says, I have not had to log in since I first did on the 4KP. I love that. He's also saying Wagner has played all those 4K tables and has videos of the gameplay. I'm not worried about the old tables being brought to the 4KP. Jason Little Alien saying, I've always been very supportive of AtGames products, but they have put their foot in their mouths far too often. Self-inflicted wounds. They can really bring things to the next level if they just pay attention. And Papa Brad's Gaming says they will be great for the fans of the HD pinball playing the tables on this new beast. Thumper Squid says need Viagra for the flipper lag. All right, so let's move on. Let's transition, guys. I want to transition into the Bash Box. We haven't talked much about this. It got brought up last week. We had Toxin on the show, special guest, and there was a comment in the chat where someone had asked about the Bash Box. I think it was JJ, if I remember right. And it was great to have Toxin on the show because Toxin knows the Bash Box pretty well. He's friends with a lot of the guys that are making this product. So it was great. And it also sparked my interest in it too. It got me into like, what is this thing? And if I can use it with my iArcade in this new switcher board that's coming out from GRS, I won't have to just use the Viper in there. I can also throw in the Bash Box and use that. I mean, that's incredible. It gives you more gaming options, another board to play games on potentially that could play certain games better than maybe the Viper can or the iArcade board can. So all this interests me because I don't want to play the Bash Box on a TV. I want to play it on my iArcade. So let's take a look here at the Bash Box and just kind of see, you know, what this thing's about and just kind of chat about it for a little bit. And then that way we can kind of introduce ourselves to this product and learn hopefully more about it closer towards its release. Kansas City wins. Wow. I cannot believe KC won that game. Chiefs win on BS new OT rule. Okay. You know, I hear a lot of people saying that the NFL is like scripted and this was all planned out. And if it comes down to some officiating in OT and the Chiefs won on that, that's not going to go over very well with these NFL fans, I promise you. KC, yeah, that's the team I was going for. I wanted to see them win just because they were the Dallas Texans. And I do like Patrick Mahomes. He's from Texas. He grew up in East Texas, and he went to Texas Tech. So I've always supported him. He's also a big Dallas Mavericks fan. I see him a lot at the Dallas Maverick games. So we're both fans of that team. Jason Little Alien says, well, at least Taylor won't sing about a new breakup. That's another thing. Could KC really lose with this whole thing going on with Kelsey and, Taylor and their relationship? I just don't think the NFL would let Kansas City lose with that situation going on. There's too much publicity behind them. Thumper Squid says Viper for the iArcade looks like a suitcase. And you will not see the Viper, is what Papa Brad is saying. All right, so Bashbox, guys, they're not advertising much on this website right now. Very limited on this. Local and online multiplayer gaming, multimedia capabilities, powerful gaming titles. We don't really have too much information on this thing. We do get some specs here, which we went over with Toxin last week. It's running an Android operating system. It's got the RK3588, which is a decent chipset, I've heard. Not super powerful, but more powerful, I think, than the iArcade board and the Viper board. 8 gigs of RAM. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got Bluetooth. It's got USB ports. It's got USB-C. It's got HDMI for 4K support. It's about all we know right now. Now, the reason I like talking about this product, though, is because it's a community-driven product. It's backed by people in our community. It's being pushed and advertised on shows and live streams within our community. And that's what I like. I like when we kind of have each other's back and we support these companies that are within our own community because they're looking out for us at the end of the day. They're going to listen to us. Like if we have issues with this when we receive it, they're going to listen to what we have to say and they're going to try to fix those things because ultimately we're the customer. The home arcade community is their customer. And then also something else I like about this as well is that they're working with Glen directly right now to make this compatible with his products that we're going to talk about next. So what's really great about this is it's in a partnership, it sounds like, with GRS right now to make sure that this is compatible with our iArcade and the new GRS Viper switcher. And that was confirmed by Glen on Friday. So good news. I mean, we had good news right when it was announced because it gives us another option to game on. Also, it's a community-driven product, which I like. But then we started asking questions last week. Is it going to work with the iArcade? And Toxin felt like they were working on that. Well, then we had gotten confirmation on Friday from Glen himself that he is working with the Bashbox guys to make sure that it's compatible. So that's awesome. Everything's looking really good. And I didn't want to spend a ton of time on Bashbox tonight other than just mentioning it and just kind of telling you guys my thoughts on it. But if you guys are wanting to comment on this before I move on, let me know. Carlos saying the Viper is big enough to hold a real Viper. It is a big, what do we call that? A 3D printed box. Toxin saying he's so sick of Taylor Swift. Well, she ain't going anywhere. I don't really like her music, Toxin. I try to listen to it. There may be like 1 or 2 songs that I like of hers. Very few of them. Papa Brad's Gaming says it will integrate into the machines. Science Spirit says she brings hundreds of millions to the NFL. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, Casey has to win the Super Bowl. She's there. Like, how could they let her lose? It would cost them so much money. Carlo says a demo at Bashbox could sell me. Yeah, so a demo would be great. I know we've seen them, and you guys will have to remind me their face of Bashbox and his name, because I can't remember it right off the top of my head. But I've seen him in the chats. I've seen him in some of the streams. He even popped into, whose stream was it? Tuesday night or Wednesday night, Arcades Anonymous. He was in the Arcades Anonymous stream and talking a little Bashbox in that chat. But we see him in the chats. We also see him on Michael B's stream a few weeks ago. I think that's going to continue. I think he's going to be, in the chats. He'll be coming on streams, answering our questions. But ultimately, we want to see this thing in action. We want to see it playing games. We want to see the internals. Like, something that's really good with what Glen does is he opens everything up. He shows us everything. And that's what Bashbox needs to do, is they need to take after Glen and, what he does and replicate that success by just doing what he does. Show us everything, in your videos. Don't hold anything back. Thumper Squid saying, I got a Kinhank 500G with Batocera. JJ saying the Bashbox has features that aren't needed and just drive up the price. They need to release one without a controller and no Netflix, Prime, etc. streaming TV and movies. Just a game box for $125 or $100 would work. And I agree. I like that controller I put in the thumbnail. I absolutely 100% do not need that controller. That is definitely just, wasted money for me. I won't use that. I just want the box, and I want it to put in my iArcade. Probably never take it out of there. Goofy Foot saying Glenn needs to make the box clear. Plexi. Oh, here we go. Bill McLaughlin. And I have seen him in the chats before. I've chatted with him. I just couldn't remember your name, Bill, right offhand. I apologize. But I will get to learn it. And hopefully I'll get to chat with you sometime and get to learn more about this product. But it is something I'm very interested in. And maybe we can get Bill on the show. We're doing special guest every other week. Maybe potentially we can get Bill as a special guest if he wants to come on here in the near future. So let's move on, guys, and transition. I want to transition to just a little bit of New Wave Toys talk. So I've got my Coke machine you guys can see behind me here. I've got my Ghost and Goblins that I absolutely love. And I'm just not really into getting the older ones, the ones they've done in the past. And the reason that is the Ghost and Goblins is the best one they've done yet. It's got the coin op function. It's got all the features. And some of the older cabinets that they've done over these last few years don't have some of those features or don't have a lot of those features. So my collecting with New Wave Toys is going to start with what I have and what they make going forward. So I'm very interested in these two products, the Berserk and the Frenzy. 100% want to get one of these. I was more so just going to get the Berserk, not get the Frenzy because it was this Survivor series and it looked all beat up. But now that, we don't have money to spend on Arcade 1-Up, I am going to be getting the AtGames, but I want to still collect arcades. I still want to collect the actual arcade cabinets. So these are going to be a perfect way to do that for me in 2024, is I can continue to collect arcade cabinets just in these smaller forms. And with the extra money I have, because I'm not buying Arcade 1-Ups, now I'm going to get the Frenzy. And I've been seeing some close-ups of this Frenzy as well. And yeah, it does look really beat up, but it's a work of art. They've done a really good job with it. Very impressed with just how well and how good this thing looks. I thought the whole beat up Survivor Series look would kind of turn me off, but as I'm seeing close-up high-res images of this through the Facebook group and Reddit, it's looking really good. So I'm going to be getting both of these. And what's great is they're coming out in March. So expect these within about 30 days to be available on the website. A lot of people have pre-ordered theirs, so of course they're all going to get theirs, and what's left will be sold on the website, and who knows how many of those will be available, but you'll probably have to be very quick to get your hands on Berserk and Frenzy. You guys will probably have to be on the website the day that it's announced, and I'm sure everyone's going to make videos. It's going to blow up Facebook, Reddit, if you guys are a part of those groups, and you'll know when it releases. But we're told March. We don't have a day in March yet. They're just saying March from what I've heard. So that could be, 3 weeks from now, or it could be 7 weeks from now. Thumper Squid says Berserker. Papa Brad's Gaming says Thumper Squid, how many games were preloaded on the Ken Hank Batacera? Does it work on the ALU? And Papa Brad's Gaming says the Frenzy has more character. Definitely does. It looks, these, what we call these renders, they just don't really do it justice. You guys got to get the images, the high-res images that are being leaked out right now through the Facebook group. It's too bad that I didn't get those prepared tonight like I normally would have. But with the Super Bowl going on tonight, I didn't have a chance to get those uploaded to show. But I'll definitely be showing those off in future streams. But they look really good. Thumper Squid saying 120,000 games, 80 emulators. Papa Rad's Gaming says there are cool classic arcade games to get. Some Limelight, Berserk, and Frenzy. Absolutely. That's what's really great about what Arcade One Up was doing. And now with them gone or potentially being gone, New Wave Toys doing this, because it brings back that nostalgia, that feeling. In a lot of these cabinets, like Berserk and Frenzy, I didn't even know they existed. But I've been collecting cabinets now in my home for a couple of years. And, when New Wave Toys announced Frenzy and Berserk, I go and read about it. I learn about these games. I start playing them on my iArcade and on my AtGames Legends Ultimate. And now I know these games. I would have never known what these were, or probably would have walked right past them in the arcade if I had not collected these and, heard of New Wave Toys. So that's what's really great about these products, is it just opens up, something you never knew or never knew that you would have enjoyed. Like I never knew I would have enjoyed Berserk as a game until New Wave Toys announced it, and then I started playing it on my arcade. And now it's a fantastic classic arcade game. And there's nothing like these classic arcade games. Nothing can replicate, nothing modern can replicate what these classic arcade games did. They're in a class of their own, and that will never change. So there was this scratch and dent cell, and I was very tempted to get in on this scratch and dent cell, but there was no, I guess you could say from the company, there was no promise to the customers that these things would, be in good condition, that it would have the manuals or have all the parts. There was none of that. It was basically order at your own risk. These are going to be potentially beat up, scratched, dented. You're taking a risk. You may get lucky. You may get one in good shape. You may not. That was kind of how they put it when they released the sale of these. So I didn't actually pull the trigger. I wasn't even very interested in getting one. And boy, was that a mistake. That was a big mistake. I wish it's always easy to look back and see, oh, now I would have ordered them, seeing these stories. But now I know if there's another scratch and dent cell from New Wave Toys, I got to order some, because for the most part, majority of the stories I'm hearing from people, they're very happy, very satisfied with the units they've gotten. They're in very good shape. Some of them look perfect. They look brand new. A lot of them have all the manuals, all the parts, all the packaging, everything included in the box. So just wanted to read this. This was posted on the fan page, the official global Replicate New Wave Toys fan page. This is Glen's group as well. It says, pretty stoked right now. Received my Scratch and Dent Food Fight pre-order in 1943 today. I seriously can't find anything wrong with either of them. Both came in the original boxes with all the accessories, the manual, the extra rubber feet, and the power cables. Both powered on and played and looked great. Thanks, New Wave Toys. And these were only like, I think 60 or 70 bucks. They were less than half of what they would have been brand new. So this would have been a great opportunity, especially for me. I only own a couple of these to really get my collection going for a fraction of the cost or a fraction of the price. And I just kind of missed the boat. I didn't, I'm always very conservative in my purchasing, and I always want to make sure all the boxes are checked before I buy anything. And that kind of came back to bite me on this one, because I could have gotten a ton of these New Wave toys for next to nothing. Thumper Squid says, have not tried on the ALU. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I like the New Wave toys replicate arcade machines. No one was talking about the food fight much until New Wave toys reminded me people how cool it was in 80s classics arcades. Yep, that's what their specialty is, are these 80s classic arcade cabinets. They've done some 90s ones, like they did Street Fighter. Will they get into some more, even more modern than that? Will we get late 90s arcade cabinets in the future? That would be really cool. I think that's definitely possible. I know New Wave Toys definitely is more retro, probably more focused on the 80s, but we may start getting some more modern cabinets in the future as well. Also, something else really big with New Wave Toys right now, if you guys haven't heard, is that they are working with Glen, Glen's Retro Show, on a joint product that they're going to be releasing or announcing here very soon. And this is the speculated full-size cabinet that may have GRS Viper board in it and just be like a huge multi-cade, but like probably all the cabinet is made by New Wave Toys. All the internals are the GRS products. So that's coming down the pipeline here very soon, guys. I don't know when that's going to be that they're going to announce that, but I keep hearing Glenn talk about it, and I know that it's right around the corner. And if we, where there's smoke, there's fire, and everyone's saying that we're going to get a full-size cabinet, I think that is most likely what's going to end up happening. And I think for us, home arcade community, almost everyone's going to end up buying that full-size cabinet. Because what else is there to buy right now in the home arcade cabinet category of products? There's not anything new. So they're going to have everyone's attention if they make a full-size cabinet. Goofy Foot saying, I'm jealous of everyone that scored on that sale. Absolutely. I'm so jealous of them. I wish I would have gotten in on some of these. This picture here, this image really spoke to me, because these are the two that I would have really loved to have. The 1943 and the Food Fight. The Food Fight is just one of those crazy looking arcade cabinets where the artwork is just, it's a work of art, and it would have been one that I would have loved to have. I know the monitor isn't that great, like the screen's kind of messed up on the Food Fight, but for this price, it wouldn't have bothered me. And then the 1943, I love that cabinet design. It'd be, because I have the Ghost and Goblins, it'd be nice to collect a bunch of Capcom cabinets. So that one is one I would have liked to have. Or is this 1942? No, that's 1943, isn't it? He's JJ saying he just received 1942 Replicade via the Scratch and Dent sale, and it seems like it's a brand new one to me. He also pre-ordered the Berserk, as he likes that game, and he likes 1942. So there's another story, guys. Perfect condition. So if we see another Scratch and Dent sale, I don't think we should wait. I don't think we should even second guess it one bit, because for the most part, everyone has gotten theirs and they've been in really good shape. The only negative stories I've heard from this Scratch and Dent sale are the people that ordered, and then what happened is New Wave Toys went in to go test the unit before they shipped it out, and they found like the screen wouldn't turn on, or the marquee wouldn't turn on, or the joystick didn't work, or something like that, and they then held it back. They didn't send it out, which is incredible. New Wave Toys could have easily sent those out to people, made extra money, but instead they did what was right behind the scenes without us even knowing, and they refunded those people and didn't ship those units out. So even though those people were upset that they didn't get anything, at least they didn't get a broken one. New Wave Toys made sure of that. So that's awesome of them. Great company, guys. New Wave Toys. I just can't talk any better about a company than I do New Wave Toys. They are an amazing company, an amazing group of guys that run this company. And even if these products didn't turn on and they weren't playable, talking about like the non-playable pinball, I'd still, like this company and what they're doing because they're just such a great group of guys. Talking about that non-playable pinball, I did see an email that went out this week, and they had said they met their goal. So they did sell enough of the mini pins to keep production going on those and then do future mini pins. So that's really good news for us that potentially may want to get a playable pinball machine or an improved one in the future. News was this week that they had sold out or they had met their goal of the pre-order mini pins enough to keep that product going. So that's really good news. Jason's saying clarification. They shipped a small bunch that did not turn on or work correctly out of the box. So they later did begin testing first and no longer ship them out. Okay, so Jason is giving us a little bigger picture of this story. It's not all roses. It's not all good. It started off bad. It sounds like they were shipping out ones that weren't working, and they probably got some criticism, some people calling them, trying to get those fixed or get their money back, and realized that that is not the way to do it. And they started testing them. And the stories that I had told you tonight about the people that have received those emails saying that theirs were not shipped, that started after they had realized that some were going out that were not working. So that's good. They're testing each and every one of them now going forward. But thanks for letting us know, Jason, the full story on that, and that this was actually a correction, not something that they did initially. Toxin saying, when I got the email for the sale of Ghost and Goblins was already gone. So they were already sold out. I had an opportunity, Toxin, to get some. I had like the full drop-down menu. I could have gotten any one of them I wanted. And I was really tempted. I just couldn't do it without knowing the condition of these first. Definitely knowing what I know now, I'll be taking advantage of these scratch and dent sales moving forward. No doubt about it. Jason saying for those who did receive bad units, they can send them back for full refunds or accept a coupon towards another cabinet. So that's awesome. They're giving them the ability to return it. Hopefully they pay the shipping back, and you can either get your money back or you can get a coupon towards a hopefully like a Frenzy or a Berserk would be cool. Get one of their new ones. So they're taking care of those customers as well, guys. So that's really good to hear that. So not much else to talk about, guys. There's not a ton of news. And like I said, I have also gotten into the Super Bowl today, and I didn't do my normal amount of preparation and slides that I like to do. I always like to make these streams like a really good experience for you guys, like visually too, because like really good with the graphic design. So I like to like make really great looking slides, and I didn't get a chance to do that tonight. But there were these subjects I wanted to talk about. We talked about the Super Bowl, Chiefs won. Talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Really looking forward to that movie. Go check out that trailer if you haven't seen it already. The AtGames 4KP pinball, the firmware update. Also the really good communication with the community. Liking what I'm seeing there. Also inching more and more closer to getting a AtGames 4KP pinball. And do I get one now? Do I rush out and get the Addams Family now for $1,500? Or do I get the Star Trek for $1,500 and get that here in about 60 days and get what I really want? Or do I wait for their next release and try to save some money on whatever one that is? So it's a juggling act of, what do I do right now? And I really don't know. So, but I'm definitely going to keep you guys informed on that. Also, we've talked about the Bashbox. That's going to be going into the New Wave Toys. The Bashbox will be going into the iArcade And then we also talked about New Wave toys. But there is one other thing here that I did want to talk about tonight before I get into my closing thoughts. That was going to be Glen's announcement this week. So let me get that prepared here. Oops, let me get back to where I was just at. I'm going to go into studio mode here, and I'm going to get this video that I had prepared but didn't get the slide ready so we can look at it. So bear with me here for just one moment. Glen's Viper Switcher, what we're going to call this thing. And all right. All right, here it is, guys. So let me get a camera for me. There I am. All right, guys, so this is it. So I watched Glen's show on Friday. I've been watching Glen's show every Friday now. You know, when I first got into home arcade, I didn't follow Glen at all. Like, I didn't watch his shows, but I did watch Game Time. Steven had Glen on Game Time. I used to watch that every Thursday. So I knew who Glen was, but I didn't really connect with Glen because he's a lot older than I am. And I just, you know, for whatever reason, wasn't connecting with his content. But there was a big change. And when that big change happened, I would say would be when the Ultimate Control Panel got announced. That's when I really started getting interested in what he was doing as far as his products. But when that happened, I started watching his show, and I started watching it every Friday. And then I met him in Cleveland. Fantastic guy, amazing guy, one of the nicest, but also one of the most entertaining people you'll probably meet in person ever. I mean, he's that cool of a guy. And then continue to watch his show every Friday. It's like my go-to now. And he had presented this on his live stream last Friday, basically showing off what he is calling the GRS Viper Switcher. So basically what this is, it allows us who have the iArcade, and you don't have to have the Ultimate Control Panel, you just have to have the iArcade or the iArcade Gold. You can buy what's called this GRS Viper Switcher, and it will allow you to install it into your iArcade, take your iArcade board. If you have the original iArcade, you can take the board out, put it into this, and be able to switch between the iArcade board and the Viper board, which is the board that GRS is releasing that will allow us to sideload as many games as we want onto it. And they will probably play much better than what the iArcade board offers us. Also, he's made it available to the Gold customers. So there's like Bill's Retro Show out there. He has the iArcade Gold. He has the Ultimate Control Panel, but he doesn't have the Mystery Encoder mod. He will not need a Mystery Encoder mod anymore because he can buy this and he can play the Viper. He can play all his side-loaded games on the Viper board. So very cool for the Gold customers as well. And what he explains in this video is interesting. I went through this. I even wrote down some notes on his video today. And there's a few things to note, okay? For one, what we're seeing, this outer box, this plastic box, is a 3D printed plastic box. It is not the final production. This is just for testing. This is just to give them a place to work in and put these parts in and make sure it all comes together and works right. But he's planning on changing that out completely and getting rid of the plastic, so it won't even be plastic. So a better quality case. But what he's showing inside here is the switcher board, all the different wires that go to the iArcade. It looks like a rat's nest inside of there. But I promise you guys, if you know Glen, he's going to make it easy on you. He's going to give you step-by-step instructions. I think he even released a video today, almost an hour-long video, I think, explaining how to install this. And he has assured us that this isn't going to be some extensive, very difficult installation. He's going to make it easy and step-by-step and where anyone can do it. You're basically just plugging stuff in, and you have to know where to plug it in, and he'll tell you. But some of the negatives, so it's not all positive with this thing. It does give us the ability to switch between the iArcade board to the Viper board. Also, potentially using the Bashbox as well, switching to that, which is great because the iArcade, it's not super easy to load games onto. Some of the games don't play that great. You have to map the controls. There's all kinds of things and hoops you have to jump through to get games to work on the iArcade. Whenever we have the Viper board, it won't have to do all that anymore. We can just easily sideload the games, hopefully play much better, and then also offer us better accessories, light gun games, racing games, all the controllers, the trackballs that Glen sells, the flight sticks, all that stuff's going to work with this. But there are some negatives. There's a few of them. And that's something good about Glen is he always tells us everything. He doesn't, like some companies would want to kind of hold back and kind of keep a little of this to themselves until the product releases so they can make more money. Glen doesn't do that. This product is for the community. It is for us. And he wants us to be happy. So he's telling us a few things that we have to consider before we purchase this. Number one, the Viper to iArcade board, you'll have to restart to get the proper resolution. So if I switch from my iArcade board to the Viper board, I'm okay. But once I go from the Viper board back to the iArcade board, the resolution is going to get all messed up. And that's due to the HDMI input, how they made these, and GRS products doesn't have contact with iArcade anymore because they're no longer a business. So what we have to do, our workaround for this, is we have to turn it off every time. So turn it on, we're on the iArcade board, we switch to the Viper board or the Bashbox. When we go back to the iArcade board, we're going to have to turn the unit off and then turn it back on to get the proper resolution. So it's not a deal breaker for me by any means. I mean, it's just one extra step. I mean, it's not, super easy to get back to the iArcade. We're having to turn it off, wait for it to shut down, and boot back up. But it's not that bad. Number two, no headphone jack. I've only used my headphone jack when I was streaming the Ultimate Control Panel. And when I did that, the headphone jack was very convenient. So that is going to be missed. I definitely think the headphone jack is going to be missed, but it is not going to be, again, a deal breaker for me because I don't have to stream this. This is just kind of an inconvenience for me because I liked having that for streaming. Now, some people out there may play their arcades in a home where you have to be quiet at night and you have to wear headphones. That could be a big deal for you. Number three, Sega games will not work with the Switch using the iArcade board. So because of the HDMI out, Sega had in their agreements, we learned this from Glen. I don't think we ever knew this until Friday. But Sega, when they were negotiating their license with iArcade to release those Sega games that they had, they were not allowed to HDMI out those games to a second screen. So those games, the Sega titles, will not work on the iArcade board using this switcher. However, if you want to play those Sega games you paid for, you won't be able to play them that way, but you will be able to sideload those games onto the Viper board. So you can play them on the Viper board, and he's saying they may play even better on it. So you may enjoy playing them, better on the Viper anyways. So there were really just three negatives, and those weren't negatives that were going to prevent me from buying this anyways. So it was good that he got that information out to us. And it's just good that we're getting, full transparency, and he's being open and honest with us. I like that about him. Now the price, $120. I was looking at all this, and I was like, I even made a comment in the chat that this is going to be expensive. And it wasn't quite as expensive as I thought it was going to be. With the price of the Ultimate Control Panel, the price of the boomstick that he released, the send-in light gun, shotgun, I was very concerned that the switcher was going to end up at like $200. It did not. It's $120. So it's just over $100 reasonable, not too bad. I think for all the stuff we're getting and the functionality of everything we're going to get with this, 120 is nothing. So a new board, a new way to play games, also potentially functionality with the Bashbox. This for me is a no-brainer. I am going to get this $120 as soon as the pre-orders come available. I don't know yet when the pre-orders will be up. Maybe someone in the chat has found that out and can tell us. I do not know yet when it will be available, but it's coming soon. JJ asked about the price. It is $120. Let me get my chats up here. There we go. Any idea on the price? 120. Papa Brad's Gaming says 120 seems reasonable to me. I will mod my Space Invaders with this as a side option. Great. So Papa Brad, he has the gold cabinet and he has the original, the Dragon's Lair. So he can have his ultimate control panel on his Dragon's Lair. He can have this on the gold. That's a great setup, Papa Brad. Arcade Talk and Star Wars Reviews saying, hi, everyone. Good to see you, T. McCloskey. Jason saying, I didn't want to put that much on my arcade because I knew this stuff was coming out with full builds. Look forward to the Viper, and this will be my multicade of doom in my office. Absolutely. That also brought up another point that I saw that slide where he had the picture of the amp. So this has an internal amp. We're not using the amp that is potentially and prone to go out on the iArcade. We're using a new amp, which is replaceable through Glen's products, and it sounds better than the iArcade amp. So that's another plus, getting better sound. And we're having the ability to fix and replace parts that we otherwise would not be able to. So this is incredible for iArcade owners. And like Jason said, multicade of doom. We're going to have the best multicade in the community. The iArcade owners will. And that will be something we'll be able to hang our hat on and say, we've got the best multicade, because we really do. We've got so many ways to play these games now. And Shotgun Sean's here. He's saying, hey, Biggie D, good to see you, Sean. That's talking about, I watch Glen's show every Friday. That's another show that's become part of my schedule every week, is watching Shotgun Sean and Rascal on Tuesday nights. I love their show. So it's good to see you, Sean, in the chat. Also wanted to give you a shout out if anyone hadn't seen your show yet. Jason saying, wish it included one of those HDMI encoder boards to allow the monitor brightness, contrast, color to be adjusted, as well as those A1 Up display kits come with. Yeah, that would be a nice feature if they had included that, or could. And yeah, we're talking Glen's Viper board, and this is the Viper board switcher we're looking at right now. And it was just coincidental. We were talking Viper last week, and maybe that kind of sped some things up for us, or maybe it was just coincidental. I'm not sure. But I feel like when we talk about some of these products, especially if we're talking like Viper, about how it was like getting delayed possibly, and we hadn't heard anything in a long time. Like we had Retro Lizard's video 3 months ago of the Viper, and we hadn't really heard much since. You know, I think sometimes that kind of talk and discussion on these live streams speeds things up. It also makes these companies aware of what we're thinking, and maybe they think we should be concerned about this stuff. And we get more information that we want to see when we talk about this stuff, you know, live on stream and live on air. Yeah, that's about it, guys. I wanted to touch on that. On Glen's, but I did have one closing thought, and this is not home arcade related. Well, I guess you could say it is home arcade related, because it is home arcade related, but it's more personal. It's not related to these products. It's not related to anything going on in y'all's lives. This is directly something that I'm facing and being challenged with right now, is my relationships and friendships with other content creators in this space. I grew this channel, you know, from nothing. Started it around September of 2022. So I've been doing this now for about 1 year and 4 months. And I saw Console Kits had taken down his channel this week. And Console Kits was probably one of the first, I know he was the first channel that I had watched that I really related to, and that really drew me in, like as a viewer, was Console Kits. And more so because of the deals. You know, I loved watching his deal videos and his enthusiasm and his excitement for the Arcade 1-Up deals. And, you know, I've worked in sales in the past, and I love these products at that time. I could do graphic design. I didn't know how well I was on camera. I didn't know how well my voice would sound on a stream or anything like that. So I didn't know how long or how well I would be at this, but I wanted to give it a shot. I really wanted to give it a try. And it took off much quicker than I ever anticipated. And over these last few months, you know, of course, with Arcade 1-Up in a decline, potentially going out of business even, that has affected everyone in this community, and I would say more so the content creators, because we, you know, a lot of what we prepare and what we share in these live streams and what we're excited about was Arcade 1-Up. So, and I knew this 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that there was going to be this huge adjustment and huge, I guess you could say, change in our community in what people were going to be covering. And certain people would go one way, other people go another way. Maybe some people would continue to talk Arcade 1-Up. And I know we've got people like that in the community that continue to still hype up Arcade 1-Up. And that's not what I'm doing. You know, I follow my feelings, my observations, what I see, and I want to be genuine on these streams. I want to be genuine in my videos. And the only way I can do that is to share what I'm personally interested in myself, because I know if I'm interested in it and that I, you know, want what I'm talking about, then I know, you know, you guys will hear that in these streams and in these videos, and you won't feel like I'm a shill and I'm just trying to get a product out to you guys to buy it, right? So that's why I'm choosing not to cover Arcade 1-Up much anymore. But there's been a lot of not just that change or that adjustment in what we're going to be covering because of that circumstance or that situation, but also just a lot of learning who people are over this last year and a half. And, you know, there's two people in particular. That's P-Dub's Arcade Loft and Michael B. These are two people that I had watched early on when I had started creating content. They were people that I became friends with, actually, as a content creator. These are people that I personally met P-Dubs many times, hung out with many times. I could say we even became friends, like actual friends outside of YouTube. And then there was Michael B that, you know, if he didn't live in Canada, maybe that would have happened also. But I still stayed in contact with him, and we even came on as a guest on my show. I went on his show several times, maybe 3 times. And then all of that ended. All of that ended about a month ago. And I haven't talked about this because I didn't want to have my emotions involved in what I was going to be talking about tonight. I wanted enough time to pass to where the emotions would be set to the side and I could just tell my audience what happened or what's happening. So back about 5 weeks ago, or no, let's go back even farther. Let's go back 2 months ago. So 2 months ago, I had reached out to P-Dub's Arcade Loft, and I had asked him about a pinball machine that I was interested in getting, and I wanted his advice. You know, is this a good deal? Or, you know, I would do that. You know, I would reach out to him to get advice on pinballs because I was actually shopping real pinballs for a short period of time, surprisingly. And I would go to him for some advice on those pinball machines, like you would any friend. And then he had said in one stream I was watching his where he had said he had was shopping a table on Facebook Marketplace. And I'd been shopping tables on that same Facebook Marketplace, and we live in the same area, so it's likely we're looking at the same tables. So I'd sent him a message. I was like, here's a table I'm interested in. Is this the one that you were mentioning in your stream? And then he like accused me of like stalking his purchases or something. Like totally like made me feel like completely bad about even reaching out to him for something like that. So I was already like, you know, at that moment, like questioning, should I be friends with this guy? And that's when I started taking a break from watching Super Game Room Dudes. I wasn't watching it. I remember telling you guys on stream that I was taking a break from YouTube, watching other people's live streams. Well, then, but I was still watching Michael B on Monday. And there was one stream that I'd watched after that. And Michael B was like, yeah, I really miss seeing Biggie D in the chat. And then I heard P-Dubs talk about, oh, you know, we've hung out with Biggie D. I've hung out with him many times on many different occasions and reminiscing about, you know, times we had spent doing some things, you know, specifically Cleveland Gaming Classic, stuff like that. Kind of like enticing me, wanting me to come back to watch Super Game Room Dudes again and be part of the audience again. And so I started watching again because, you know, they were basically asking me or wanting me to come watch again, and that they'd missed me not being in the chat. And I want you guys to keep in mind, I used to be a moderator. I was a guest on Super Game Room Dudes. So there's a long history with this show, and I've been watching it for several years. And then about 5 weeks ago, Michael B's, you know, or 6 weeks ago, Michael B came on as a special guest. It was the following week, which was about 5 weeks ago. He had said something in his stream on Monday night about Rexer Show. And he has people that watch the Rexer Show that are in his stream that he considers friends. But then they also go to the Rexer Show and they watch his show, and they'll comment in his stream, and they'll comment in his stream even when they're talking about Michael B in the Rexer Show. And he felt like, you know, he was getting stabbed in the back, or people were two-faced and all this. Well, I just like watching the Rexer Show content. It's extremely entertaining. Yes, he does talk about other people, but I haven't seen him cross the line to make me not want to watch him. I actually like watching his show. I think it's extremely entertaining. I even call him the #1 home arcade channel because that's what I feel right now. I feel like he's the most entertaining person to watch in this community. So I knew when he had mentioned that Michael B was talking about me and probably some other people, but I knew it had to do with me when he said it, even though he didn't mention my name. The following week, I go into Super Game Room Dudes. There's a thumbnail for my arcade, for this new Retroid Pocket that Restalgia was going to show off. So I'd put down in the chat before the stream even started, my arcade, you know, they're doing really big things. CES was going to be the next week. And I was speculating in the chat on like what my arcade may be announcing or just hyping them up. And before the stream even started, I didn't say anything bad in the chat at all. Wasn't disrespectful to anyone, wasn't saying anything negative. I was all positive. It just was positive about my arcade. And I couldn't understand why this happened, but I got blocked. Biggie D's Arcade got blocked. Longtime viewer, previous guest, previous moderator, I guess you could say even friend to one of the panel members, blocked me. No explanation why, just blocked me. And then, so I went to my I have a personal YouTube account as well with my actual name. And I went into the chat and back into the stream immediately because I wanted to figure out what the heck was going on. And then they spend the entire stream talking about the Retroid Pocket, like at a 2-hour stream of the Retroid Pocket. Didn't even mention my arcade. So it kind of made sense then as to why I got blocked or banned from their channel. As I was talking my arcade, they wanted to talk Retroid Pocket that night. That was their focus. And that just kind of shows you guys, gives you guys kind of a bigger picture of like what us content creators are dealing with, that this isn't necessarily, I got to be a good person, or I can't, I can't be disrespectful to someone. It goes beyond that. You can get blocked, you can get banned, you can get outed from a group of people in this community just by pushing a certain product, or just by, not being as good of a friend to someone you may have potentially been a friend to in the past because they, wronged you or did something. There's all these variables, all these factors. And it's like, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight, mainly to kind of give you guys an idea of what, my channel and me personally, I've dealt with in this community. And, but also kind of set the stage and the expectation that P-Dub's Arcade Loft will never have anything to do with this channel ever again. Michael B will never have anything to do with this channel ever again. And I've blocked them. I'm sure they've blocked me. And that's the end of it. But this is a large, very large community in comparison to just the few content creators we have in this space. And I hope a lot of the viewers out there don't pick sides or, try to cancel someone over some, personal friendship type stuff that I've got going on with these other guys. I hope you guys can see past that and just kind of enjoy people's content for what it is and not just try to pick favorites. But also just let you guys know that they won't be a part of this anymore. And, but there's a lot of channels and shows I still do watch that you guys will see me in the chat. Glen's Retro Show, Rascal's show on Tuesday nights, Arcade Loft and Star Wars reviews, or Arcade Talk and Star Wars reviews on Thursdays and Saturdays. Those live streams, you'll see me there. 19K Fox, I'm still cool with him. You'll still see me in there. If Console Kits was still streaming, you would see me there. So there's still places you will definitely be seeing me, but there's also these other places you want. And I wanted to give you guys, full transparency on what's going on, so you guys aren't just guessing and thinking about what might be happening, or trying to come up with that, or maybe hearing it from the other side and not getting my side. I wanted to get that out there. But I won't spend much more time on it. And, there may be some comments in here, but I'm not like a drama channel, and I don't want to focus anything like that on anything negative. So I'll just kind of leave it where it was at in what I said. And then we can just move forward. But I hope you guys have enjoyed your night. I hope you guys and have a really great week next week. Hope you have a really good start to the week on Monday morning. And stay tuned into the channel. There's going to be a lot of really good stuff to come. And we'll be talking AtGames, Bash Box, GRS. And if Arcade 1UP will make anything, we'll talk about that as well. But I really appreciate you guys and your support. And Toxin, Shotgun Sean, Papa Brad, King Ed, AV, Rexer Plus, Jason, C North, all you guys. Good to see you in the chat tonight. And I hope you guys have a good week. And I'll see everyone in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.